Hi, y'all. Welcome to Hustle Humbly. It's Alyssa and Katie, and we are two top producing realtors in the Baton Rouge market.
We work for two different companies where we should be competitors, but we have chosen community over competition.
The goal of our podcast is to encourage you to find your own way in business.
So stop comparing yourself and start embracing your strengths.
And thanks to Keaton, and you guys have a wonderful day and go set yourself a realistic action item goal today.
Yes, action items.
There you go. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay, I think we're good. Hi, friends.
Hey, guys.
I know,
We're all done recording.
I think YouTube's going to stay with us for a bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and I'm going to pull up this. I think the dog is here. Aaron
Murphy's
probably wants to
back.
see the dog. Okay, so now what we have is
Don't knock the camera.
Yeah, be careful. What we have is our list of Q&As. Jay, did you get some good questions?
One question and a bunch of good comments.
Oh, delightful.
Great.
But I'm going to have to keep up the comments. Why do we need it to be so exposed? Like, we're still recording.
We're y'all gonna move.
No, we're not
we
moving.
decided to stay put.
Oh, I'm like, what's he doing?
We're not moving.
He's in here doing a bunch of stuff. No, we're not moving. You can actually just let it be. Okay, are you ready for the question?
The one question.
Yeah, question from Alondra.
Can I log into the live?
Go for it. Just turn your volume down.
Oh, I see.
There's not a lot of diversity with agents where I am. Not yet an agent, but doing broker agent research. It's not bad to have being a well-known top new agent as part of my yearly goals, right? Oh, no, there's no bad goal.
I don't
There's
understand
no
the
bad goal.
question.
She wants her goal to be, she wants to be a well-known top new agent as part of her yearly goal.
Oh, no. That's
No.
fine. I think that's why, honestly, I know awards can be, what they are, but I do think that they attributed to a lot of my early success because you get these things published about you out there in the community. And then all the people that saw I had gotten into real estate at such a young age, all of a sudden a year later are seeing me get these awards and they're like, wow, she's actually
Right.
doing it. Like it, especially as a new agent, it really provides to your credibility. So I think it's a great thing.
I think so too. Oh, okay. Yes. Lacey said, ask 4 deep on your whys. I think that's correct. 4 deep on your whys. Okay. Here's some of our good comments. Bonnie said, my goal is to make the same amount, but have more time to enjoy time with friends and family and clients.
And clients.
I love that. Lacey said, I have fallen so short of my yearly goal, in air quotes. I've been discouraged, but have taken a step back. I'm doing all I can to prepare for that goal one day. I think that's perfectly a great goal and a great attitude.
We also had an agent, a new agent in my office that kind of hit the ground running. I was really proud of her. Not necessarily that she was getting a lot of business, but she was at every meeting that we had, and she was like coming up to us and saying, hey, if y'all ever get a sign call you don't want, she was just really hustling, and I thought she's going to be good. Well, I noticed she hadn't been at the office for, a few days, and so I reached out to her, and she said that she decided to take a step back.
Okay.
Because they're renovating a house.
Okay.
And her husband, who works a lot, was like, look, it's really important to me that you are managing this renovation. Like, I need someone here because I can't be here. And she just realized, like, I need to do this for my family right now so that we can get settled in our house and make sure everything is going smoothly.
I think that's great.
And she was fine.
Yeah.
She didn't stop everything. She just had to say, like I always say, you can't ask for more business if you're not managing the business that you already have well.
Right.
So if you're already overloaded, it's probably not a good time to ask for referrals.
Right. Okay. Libby, I'm trying to look up my numbers. Libby asked, what year did you sell 5 million plus? Do you remember when you hit that barrier?
Year 3, I hit 5.
Okay.
And then it went from like 6 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went to like 7 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went from 12 to 15.
Okay.
And the highest it ever went was like 22.
Wowza. Okay. So I got my license. My first full year was 2006. So year 5, I almost hit 5 million. I was right under it. Year
Yeah.
5. And then I had kids and it wasn't very consistent. Next year was 3. The next year was 4. And then I hit 6.5 in 2014. So that would be year 9.
Oh.
I mean, but I also totally different, and then I was at kind of consistently at 5 or 7 or, somewhere in that range. I've never broken 10. Quite honestly, I've never broken 10. I got to 9.
That's
really close.
awesome.
That was the deal. And now I'm kind of on the different vibes. I don't even know what number I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. Did anyone else ask any other questions?
Yes. Kristen asks, how do you feel about part-time agents? I struggle between those being marked as the type who don't take the industry seriously, but also thinking they could be great people for the business if they also have things happening in life. A lot of influencers are very negative towards part-time realtors. There are actual stats that show that part-time realtors,
Do you see how serious my face is?
I know, are involved in the most sticky situations,
Like
lawsuits, ethics claims, even if it's an accident. And a lot of it is just, deadlines, missing things, not taking the time to go over things. I think that it's only factual to say that part-time agents will have a little bit of that reputation just because you're part-time.
Look, you can be very professional as a part-time agent.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, the majority of part-time agents that I have come in contact with in the course of a transaction were not professional. They were like, I can't talk to you because I'm at my job. And look, there's obviously a window of time when you're transitioning from your previous career to your real estate career. That is understandable in some ways, and in some ways it is still going to be frustrating for career agents who this is their full-time job. They take it very seriously. They're very professional. They want to get their work done in business hours as best they can. So if you're making me work outside of my business hours, yeah, I'm going to be a little annoyed. And I think that I have the right to be. I'm not saying you can't be a part-time agent, but I think that the barrier to entry is still too low to become a realtor, and that you really need to take it seriously and learn, because here's the other thing. The only way to actually get the experience needed to be good at this job is by doing transactions. And if you are part-time, it's going to take, just like you're saying, it's going to take you a longer time to do those transactions, right? Mm-hmm. Or worst case scenario, sometimes people are part-time with no intentions of ever making this their full-time job.
Sure.
It's a side hustle. It's, something, maybe they're, in an older age bracket and they just want to sell a couple of houses to their friends. That's not cool to me.
Yeah.
Because if you're part-time with with a goal of becoming full-time and just trying to make that financial break, get that gap covered, that's one thing. But if you're just becoming a part-time agent and that is all you ever plan to do, then I think there might be a bigger problem.
Yeah, I think staying on top of your education, being mindful of how much business you can handle as a part-time agent, and making sure you're respectful of the full-time agents so that you're not stepping on toes. Libby asked, do you ever feel like you have had a good streak of business and you look back and feel like that was a total fluke? How did I do that?
Look, I do think what you focus on grows.
Yeah.
So if things are going well and you're focused on that and you're like, it just kind of, the ball starts rolling, and then sometimes it's like you run into a brick wall and nothing's happening, right?
Right. And then what I have found happens a lot is that once agents get that first streak where they have a few things pending at once, they drop the ball on all the good things that they were doing to get that business.
Yeah.
So they're so consumed with managing the business and getting to the closing table that they stopped writing their letters, going to the networking events, doing their posts on social media. And so then everything closes and they're back to square one. So you're always on the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have systems in place where you can manage your pending transactions while always maintaining your relationships for future business, you're not on the roller coaster. I haven't been on the roller coaster in a long time, because you just get to that point.
But you also have to remember the market itself is cyclical and seasonal.
Yeah.
So every first quarter, I'm like, oh no, what's happening? What are you laughing at?
Kristen said that she sees a downhill slide with those who don't retire when they should.
That's a great point too.
I go to these Louisiana realtor conferences and national conferences, and the amount of people at these conferences on walkers, and it makes me sad. But I will say, this business has never made me think about retirement more than ever, because you could do this until you die, and I don't want to. Like, I do want to travel and do all the, maybe have a beach house one day, and I want to dream about retiring. But if I want those things, you have to start now. You have to start saving and planning and having your IRAs, and go listen to our Becker Talks Money episode.
Oh, Becker was here earlier.
Now. So anyway.
Oh, somebody's brokerage adapted to the 12-week goal setting.
Oh, nice.
Okay, let's see what Kristen says about Sex in the City. An episode of Sex in the City, Carrie says, in New York, they say you're always looking for a job, a boyfriend, or an apartment. So let's say you have 2 out of the 3 and they're fabulous. Why do we let the thing we don't have affect how we feel about all the things we do have? Why does 1 minus a +1 feel like it adds up to 0?
I know.
That's a great point.
I think that's just our culture mindset. Our culture wants everything. They want it now. They want it quickly. They don't want to work for it. If you order something and it's going to arrive in 4 days instead of 1, you're going to find it somewhere else. Our culture is just very demanding.
Yeah.
And so if we don't get the one thing we want, we forget about all of the other good things that we have. So we do have to be careful about that.
Okay, Shelby has a good question.
Okay.
What are the things you did in the beginning few years to meet your goals and grow your clientele?
I was super open house heavy. I was doing so many open houses to just try to get used to get comfortable talking to people. So I was 21, and I always say, I looked like I was 15 or 16. I had trouble speaking with confidence when I was talking to adults, even though I was an adult, but I was a young adult. And so I set a goal. I literally did 50 open houses in a year, where I picked, and I did them all in the same area. And every time we do an open house, our broker puts our information and that house information in the newspaper as an open house. And because I was staying in the same area, I had all these people that started coming to the open houses, and I got several listings. What's funny is I got listings from that and not buyers. I may have gotten 1 or 2 buyers, but I had people who say, wow, you just work really hard. We always see your name in the paper, and that you're always hosting open houses. Would you come list our house? And so between phone duty, open houses, and networking events, those were my top 3.
Yeah. I did online leads. I'm not afraid to say it. That's how I got my business to go in the beginning. That was a different time though. It was 2006, 2007 when I might have been one of 3 people getting these major amount of online leads from the company. Zillow didn't exist. There's a really good question for you. Not you, either one of us. Alondra wants to know, what's a good way to start asking for addresses? I wouldn't even know where to start with asking for emails or my friends' addresses outside of starting Christmas cards later this year. Can I do it? Do a vendor list. This is my favorite thing you can do, because you can call or DM or text people in your database and be like, I'm putting together this vendor list. I would love to send you a copy when it's done. Do you have any vendors that you're currently using or have used recently that were really good? Handyman or plumber or whatever. And then they're going to say, sure, I'd love a copy of that. And you'd be like, well, can I get your address? Or, Brian Buffini style would just be like, look, I'm going to send an IMA of value once a month to the people on my VIP list. Would you like to be on the list? I would love your address and your email. And then they can give it to you. And if they don't want to be on the list, then they don't give it to you. And then you just move on to the next person. So I just don't think it has to be a trick or a secret, or it doesn't have to be difficult. You went off of the wedding list.
Yeah, I started my database from my wedding list. And I had an Alyssa column and I had a Tanner column. And then after the wedding, I sat down with his mom and I went through each person on his column and made a note of like who they were because I didn't know them all. So was it like an aunt or an uncle? One of them was his baseball coach. Like just trying to figure out like who are these people and figuring out if they needed to stay in the database because not everybody needs to stay in the database.
Oh, Kristen, are you asking about part-timers being more supported with figuring out referral arrangements? Oh, I think she means the older population.
Oh, what about
as they
it?
age out. She wished they were supported with figuring out referral arrangements, honestly. Like she was just someone was helping them be like, look, you can refer out this business and maybe you don't have to take your walker to the convention.
So in my office, I used to teach the iPad class when the iPad was like a newer thing. And I would teach the class on teaching agents how to write the purchase agreement on the iPad. And we had a lot of the older people in my office that came to that class. And I was so proud of them because I was like, wow, they're really like keeping up with everything. But there was one lady, Nancy, who came to the class and she was much older than everybody else. And she was on oxygen.
Oh,
and
Nancy.
I just kept looking at her the whole time I was teaching. And she's got her iPad and, you know, she's doing her best. And she came up to me after and just thanked me so much for teaching her and teaching the class about the iPad. Well, the next week, she called me and said, Alyssa, I have a past client who needs to sell the house I sold them and buy something else. I'm not in a position to do it. Like, could I refer them to you? And I think that it goes to show if as the younger generation, or maybe just the more tech-savvy agents, if you're present in your office and you're willing to take a minute out of your day and help them with something that they're doing in their MLS or saving a form as a PDF or trying to do an electronic signature, like if there's something you can show them or help them, like they'll remember that.
Yeah,
you know, that was the beginning of a beautiful relationship.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's a great question from Kylie. She said, did you reduce your goal the year you had your babies? How did you decide what goal to set that year? So you kind of touched on this with when Tate was being born.
Yeah.
I think mine just, I didn't set a new goal. I just didn't do as much business.
I didn't know what to expect. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I knew she was going to start daycare. So I was nervous for sure about having a baby and resuming the volume I was doing. But I just kept telling myself, everything's going to be okay. People have kids all the time.
Everything's going to be okay.
And she is going to go to daycare. But that was also the beginning of me having to start simplifying my schedule. It wasn't as much about the number. Like I actually maintained my sales numbers, but I was not going on as many coffee dates with other agents and things that just weren't helping me. Like I was helping them, but it wasn't helping me.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I don't have all day to just clean my house or go to lunch. Like my time just became a lot more structured and valuable after I had her. And I think it made me more productive, honestly, which is why I think my sales didn't slip after I had kids. Like I stayed home for 12 weeks, stayed home. I still would run out and show a house. I wanted to shower and get out the house from time to time, but I had agents in my office helping me with other things. So
I feel like mine was different.
Yeah.
You can do it, or you can
you don't have to.
I was in a dark place. Like
why?
Because I didn't have really, I mean, I had an agent at the office who I really needed help would maybe help me, but I just tried to like keep up with it. Not well. My mom would come and watch Ainsley if I had an out of the house appointment. So if I had a showing or a listing, she would come. I mean, this is further in. Like she was at home with me till she was 9 months old. And
so you had no daycare for 9 months and you were trying to do real estate?
It was there were lots of tears. It was very difficult. It did not go well. That was 2010. So I had my license for almost 5 years. And I remember this one particular instance. My mom came over. I went to do the showing. I came home. I had all of this admin work to do. I don't remember. Send a CMA, but write an offer, whatever it was. And she just like bolted out of the door. Bless her. I mean, as far as she was concerned, I left the house. I came back. She left. The baby was not happy. And I couldn't get the actual like rest of the work done that I needed to do. And I remember being on the phone in tears with my sister. And she was just like, I'm coming right now. But like, I didn't handle it well. I didn't ask for help well. I didn't have a system in place for childcare. It was all rough.
That is rough.
Really rough. And I mean, the second time around, like Jack went to daycare a lot sooner than she did.
Yeah.
But still 6 months.
Yeah.
So those years I didn't make as much money. I didn't sell as many houses. Like,
that's what you wanted to do.
No. It's just what I had to do.
Oh.
That did make me happy.
No.
It wasn't like, I mean, like definitely affected our financial life.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Why didn't they do daycare?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I just felt like that there was a mom guilt. Right?
So
like,
you didn't want to.
Like, I don't have to.
Yeah.
Like, they could stay here. I could make this work. I could go on the appointments. So it's like, there's no right answer.
No.
I feel fine about it now.
Sure.
But maybe I would have done it differently.
See, leading up to having both children, I reached out to a few agents in my office. I had 3 with Haven. And I said, look, I don't know what I'm going to have. I just need to know that the 3 of you can be on standby and I will pay you per thing, or you could give me a referral if it's something like that. And we just took it situation by situation.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking to Ashley now. Okay. Oh, Ashley had another question. She's saying she has minimal support. Mm-hmm. It's just, I think the problem is that, I read this amazing article one time about kin keeping. This term, kin keeping. So as women in the American society, you're expected to prepare for the birthday parties and get the birthday gifts when your kids are going to other birthday parties and get the school supplies and the remember that, it's your parents' anniversary and send them a note and like do all these things that are life related, right? On top of, let's just say you have little small children or you have a career in real estate or something else. And then, and are you also meal planning? Do you have to cook the food? Like what's happening? What's everyone? No, like it just, that's not all on you. And if you just, sometimes I'll do this. We're far past this in my house now. We've figured it out. Like we have a very good system. It's working. Hopefully everyone here is happy. But imagine if you died. Seriously, as a woman, imagine if you died. Think about what your husband would show up to the birthday party with and your kid, and they wouldn't care at all.
No.
Maybe they wouldn't send the treats to Valentine's.
I think about this.
They wouldn't care at all.
Whenever I'm like cleaning out the kids' clothes that they've outgrown, I'm like, if I died, this would never happen.
No.
I don't know.
Honestly, I hate to say this. They might call their mom.
Like
a mom would have to get involved,
yeah,
right? Like
for sure.
somebody's a mom.
They would definitely get involved. Yeah.
Either way, my point is, you just have to take it all. Like, ask for help where you need it. Like, take it all in stride. You don't have to do everything. Maybe, and like I've told many moms who ask for working moms who ask for advice, I would always say, lower your standards. I can't do every Pinterest project. Maybe the birthday party doesn't have the balloon arch. I don't,
yeah.
It'll have a cake and
I like the meme going around that says like this village that they speak of.
Right.
The village that it takes. Is there a hotline that you call? Like how does the village get here?
Right. Right. When do I get my village?
That's funny. What else, guys? Any other questions? I feel all the mom guilt.
Yep.
Guilty if I'm working, guilty if I'm not.
She's watching this now at the trampoline park.
Okay, I have a quote for you. Let me find it. Oh, I have to turn my phone off airplane mode, which is going to be a bit scary.
Is something going to happen?
I don't know.
Okay, we're doing great on time.
So as regarding the mom guilt, where if you're working, you feel guilty. If you're with the kids, you feel guilty because you're not working. Ruth Bader Ginsburg wrote this.
RBG.
And I saved it.
I love this one.
Yes, I saved it. She said, work-life balance was a term not yet coined in the years that my children were young. My success in law school, I have no doubt, was in large because of baby Jane. Baby Jane. I attended classes and I studied diligently until 4 in the afternoon. The next hours were Jane's time spent at the park playing silly games, singing funny songs, reading books, bathing, feeding, and putting her to bed. After Jane's bedtime, I returned to the law books with renewed will.
Mm-hmm.
Each part of my life provided respite from the other and gave me a sense of proportion that my classmates did not have. So she's saying, I think it's a mindset thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's a mindset thing. And after reading this, it has helped me so much. Like, when I am with my kids, I feel like I am thankful to be taking a break from my work.
Yeah.
And when I go back to work, I am so thankful to have a break from my kids.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful, probably more thankful to get back to work, if I'm being honest. But
Right.
I think you have to look at it as your kids fuel you to be a good agent. And being an agent fuels you to be a good mother.
Yeah.
So try to look at it that way. And it may help.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's great.
But
Okay. I don't think there are any more questions.
no, this was really fun though.
Super fun. I don't know how many people got to watch the whole thing. I know that's a lot of time commitment for
It is a big time
one
commitment.
day. I think we have 22 friends right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I read the one about the Sex and the City.
Oh, I had
episode.
one more. For the one asking about the question about how to collect addresses,
Mm-hmm.
you could also say that, so I had talked about it before where you say like, hey, our company has a new subdivision report. It's a new system. I would love to set you up on it for your subdivision if you wouldn't mind. And if you could just let me know how it looks, if there's any mistakes that you see on there before I start like setting up clients on it. I'm just looking for a few people to test out this new subdivision report. It's once a month. It's not going to send you any spam. So there's just things you could do that provide value to them, like a vendors list, a subdivision report. But I'm pretty sure if you just like coldly ask someone for their address and email address, they're probably going to say no unless you have
Well,
like a specific
Nobody
reason.
wants to be sold to.
Nobody wants to be sold to.
And don't take that address and then sell to them. Like that's
Right,
the other
right.
thing. Oh, Ashley, that's what you asked about Buffini. The VIP list, that's why I went to the closet. I was trying to see if I had an old one. Basically, he would have an item of value that he sent once a month. And a lot of times it would be like a flyer about painting your house for, updates, or, which updates make the most money when you sell. It would kind of be like that, that stock real estate newsletter info that you get to an email sometimes. So it wasn't like the best, in my opinion, but it was usually semi-useful. But that's what his VIP list was. You're getting an item of value. Like it would be something that helped you. But to me, you can make your own item of value. Maybe in January, it's the updated vendor list. Maybe in February, you find a local, business that gives you a coupon for your people. Or maybe who knows, like whatever you think. Or you can just get people their email and then have a really fun, we're going to do an episode on email newsletter, I think.
Yeah, we have that coming up in the fall.
So we won't get deep into that. Okay. Oh, good. Okay, Ashley, I'm glad I remembered what that was. Okay, anybody else?
This was fun though.
It was so fun.
I love seeing their names and
I know. Okay,
actually talking with real
and we'll
people.
Just, talk to the real people in real time. Oh, somebody said something. Maybe I just want to remind you guys, I just started Buffini about 6 months ago. I enjoy sending the item of value. It helps me to not have to think as much. Casey, will you tell us like what some of the recent items of value were in
some
the
examples.
comments? That would be cool.
Yeah.
Because I haven't done it in a few years. I mean, they were great. I would never got one and thought, ooh, I don't want to send this. But
Oh.
they're just kind of more stocky, It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like a
It's not
general
you
tip.
didn't make it, so it's
Right,
not
it's
from
just like
you, but
They
it's helpful. Very
if
helpful.
you belong to Buffini, where you get the item of value, they do print your face, like your info on it,
Oh, neat.
and then you put in the. Actually, one of the best ones he ever sent was this month I'm working on self-growth and I'm listening to this podcast, and it would be like you fill in the blank of like what podcast you're listening to, and like, but in a letter you would send to your
that's
database.
cool.
Yeah, it was kind of fun.
That is fun. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I think. Oh, Alondra's new today.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming.
I know.
This is a fun thing to do on the doors open.
And just a reminder, guys, remember we only have 1 week of intros.
Yeah, oh, that was what I wanted to say.
Yeah, just some.
Thank you for your patience. Be kind to everyone who's coming in and wants to give their intro. We will kind of cut that off next Wednesday.
Yes. So just bear with us while we get through intro week.
We tried to come up with other ways to structure it, but the truth of the matter is we all want to see each other and learn about each other. Oh, and we're going to do a separate video in a minute about the referral list.
Yes.
Okay. Summer vacation tips were the VIP item.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Smart home stuff.
Yeah, or like preparing your home for you not being there kind of stuff. Safety.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're good to depart our friends now.
Yes, this was great.
You guys get back to your daily life, and we will see you soon.
Goodbye, guys.
Okay, goodbye.
So fun.
I think I'm